All right, here we go. Game two. All right, game two is live. We're going to see completely different rosters featuring Kassadin here. So you get Kassadin versus Twisted Fate. Kassadin being strong and Twisted Fate being not so strong is a harbinger of doom for this team. But it does take Cass a long time to get up. Wukong is exceptionally good at ganking Kassadin as well. Can gap close multiple ways. He can chase, he can hold up, and hold him in between those cooldowns.
I'm cheering for the Kassadin's team.
You want Kassadin's team? Why? Because it's Faker?
Huh?
Because it's Faker?
Yes, and also because I love watching people play Gnar and Vi.
Gnar and Vi, yeah. And this is a classic team together. Although, it's kind of interesting. Vi wants to go and gank side to side, but Kassadin is a weak spot in the middle of the map. So, what are they going to do? Oh, no, they take a huge mistake again to start the laning phase, aiming, and Lehen's getting chunked out. 80% health down. Now, the potions are as good as they'll ever be at level 1. So they will be able to recover some of this. But expect Keria on this Ashe with Q at level 1. Right? We've talked about this. I don't know what patch they're on. Probably not the one where Ashe got buffed again. But even then, Ashe is strong at level 1. It looks like we're just going for a W start. Look at this. Harassing from Keria. Zoning them off of the minions. They're trying to sneak up just in range. But this wave also, if Guma actually didn't go for that CS, right? If he let himself lose 14 gold to instead guarantee that this would push out, they could have had an exceptionally strong start to this game. Now look at this. They're forcing the backs. They decide that it's actually time to go. Now this was because Guma killed that minion, all right? This wave is going to push into them. Now they should be trying to funnel it down. They're going to try to stack it up, it looks like. Stack it up and then crash it in with this wave with the cannon. You want to get it all the way in, deal all that damage. Your wave will go in under their turret, and then you'll be able to get a cheaty recall off. Now, these guys are good enough where he's going to have 19 CS as this happens, which means he can go back. He's already starting on Cull because they expect the lane to be that dominant. My goodness. Or that they're just going to farm. But Zeri ends up with 18 of the 19 CS and a plate to start the game. So right here, this Guma can back. He's already got 600 gold in inventory. He could use it to flex. Let's see if he decides to do it. They may try to get one more wave in while they have this lead, the level lead, but it is going to slingshot. They're level 3 versus level 1. Can they possibly take an all in? There's no way. They're going to back off and spend an engorged amount. This is the biggest wallet that they've ever had to start a game. 3 minutes, 30 seconds in, 0 kills, and yet they're going to be coming back potentially with 2 longswords, but I expect it to be exactly that. The boots and dagger to start, so Gumayusi can continue to pellet them with the bullets.
Vi and Wukong has been spotted. Now they know each other.
Now they know where each other are. They were fighting for that crab. Wukong got the first one. They set up. Now they both went. Vi was able to full clear in that time, whereas Wukong was level 3, deciding to come to challenge for that crab. So Vi could have maybe taken a fight. The only problem there is that Jax was being aggressive on Gnar, and Kassadin has no priority in his lane, not ever. Oh, he misses the attacks. Owner missing the attack that would have been the extra damage from the denting blows to get Keen down. What would have been down at 20%. We'll see if Wukong can take this play. He does not know that he's on a ward. We're going to see if they hover for a little bit longer. Zeus deciding to tempt fate. He sees that the gank is coming in, but Jax does not have the tools to come in. He says, you want to come for me? That's fine. I will happily trade my life for yours, and you'll be in this scuffed position. Notice that he saves his Q for the moment that Jax turns on Counter-Strike. He uses the boomerang to
Gnar
connect.
Is starting to get furious. Gnar is getting furious.
Gnar is getting furious. Yeah, he's going to look to play through this lane with strength. Vi also has some armor break, so it's not like Jax can stack anything. He's going to rely on that Counter-Strike to be his source of anti-physical damage in these cases. Now let's see. If they can turn this, this would be a chance to get back in the game, but there is a control ward placed up there. Now if this one, I expect this one to be Keria's, not Guma's. Right, because Guma, you want him to be able to save his money up. He's using his control ward on the shallower part of the map. So expect that his control ward is this one in the river. But look at how much power they're putting on bot lane. The 4 control wards laid down by T1 saying we want to own bottom river. We've already got the lead. Yes, you're Varus Leona and you're supposed to be all that. But we just got an astronomical outplay to start the game. And we are going to bury you behind that wall of wards. Now,
Ooh,
getting Carius Flash. Interesting.
4-4 versus 4-3.
It is 4-4 versus 4-3. Now, Varus Leona is a classic combination. One of the things that makes it so good, right? The Leona passive. Every time that you hit with one of your spells, it allows for amplified damage coming in. Well, Varus wants to go hit, and spell for his amplification. Well, Leona can go, dash in, hit, Varus procs the sunlight, and then procs his own spell. And then Leona locks him down again, and he gets his full rotation again, which cools down his Q. So it's a phenomenal pairing. They are going to be deadly, and expect at this stage versus Zeri Ashe, which does not have that much peel, does not play well from behind. If Leona can find good engages, then that will be KT's way of getting back into this lane. Now, Vi going for Dragon. She is the best level 4 Dragon clearer in the game. Give her level 5, and it's a cakewalk. So she comes over. They use the prio in bot lane to take the Dragon, which honestly, going into this draft, I would not have expected, but game flow has to dictate the way you're going to strategize and what you're going to do. I bet KT wanted to get that first Dragon with a Twisted Fate, Varus, Leona, Wukong. They should have been stronger at this spot. And Wukong even winning that smite fight for the topside scuttle might have felt confident enough to go contest that, but based on the level disadvantage, they opted not to do it. They don't want to give up that extra level in a fight to Guma and Keria. Nar's going to mega out and use his stun. Oh, a flash from Jax. That is ambitious. He wants to try to connect it with BDD landing stun, but they're not able to consolidate. Now, this is a dangerous position for Zeus and Mega Gnar. He's got a triple stacked wave, and TF was in the vicinity. Now, TF is actually coming back to his lane, not helping to freeze this position, but it looks like Keen is going to be able to do it on his own, which means that Owner has to come over. Either this, or you just have to say as Zeus, you know what? I don't need to be here right now. Let's just wipe, and you can go somewhere else, like bot lane, like mid lane. I will go get my HP back, and I'll turn this wave into an offensive push by teleporting back to top, which is exactly what he does. Keen is trying to hold himself a freeze. Gnar is checking the bushes to make sure that he's not getting ambushed, and he will go and push this in, and it's no harm, no foul. You end up creating, in the aggregate, the same effect
to the turret
of Vi coming up top. So check out the kiting. Look at that domination. 3 plates down in that lane. Zeri is going to be quite large. Now, Keen looking to use everything. Now, he doesn't have anything left. The Q and the E are gone. Zeus, master of spacing, does miss a chance right there. Gets hit 1 extra time, misses 1 extra auto by being slightly late on those plays. But it is enough to get a health lead and enough to get a tempo lead to go for this Herald.
Here is Mega Gnar for Mega Gnar killing Scuttle. Blue team tries to invade it, but it's just not enough. Jax comes in. They go all in. Oh!
Now here's the danger of this fight. They do not want to take a fight here with Cassin only level 8.
Oh.
Ashe comes in with the ult across map to help with the peel to save them, but Gnar going to be able to get out. He's using fleet footwork to gain up a little bit of extra health, but there's no chance that he survives this play here. Wukong can just walk in and bop him in the face. Kassadin deciding to try to get some trade back damage, but he might get dove. There's still a big wave here, and there's no one else. But KT Rolster not taking it, not realizing that Vi has already left. So that's going to leave this bot lane. Despite the advantage they got up in top, they're still down in gold, and it is all in the hands of Gumayusi on this Zeri. 4 plates to their name. And this position, we have an engage from Lehends. They go and they get the trade back kill immediately on the carry.
Zeri is still up.
Zeri's still up with both of her summoners. She was able to take that. Aiming is going to miss out on all of these resources. I like that they made a play and went for a trade there. It does give them something.
Leona
here's
is not even level 6. She's getting unlucky.
And really, when you're in a losing spot, you want to take trades. Anytime that you can go 1 for 1 when you're losing, that's fantastic. But the downside is Guma UC. Zeri got all the gold and pushed in the wave. Varus did
Wukong
not get
comes
anything.
up, Nod doesn't notice it, and then, bow!
This is the replay. They're going to show this one too. Boom, engage on the carry, and this is what they were talking about. They tried to get him while he was attacking. Look at the precision that they play with in this league. Ashe draws back on the string, and the moment that the arrow is going to go is when Leona engages. It's like, yep, you're about to take aggro right now. If that was aimed at me, then I guarantee a quick and easy kill by just getting on you while you have turret aggro.
So what happened is, Varus, so Ashe pulled the string back to target Varus, and then as soon as she let go, Varus's bow let go, so they let go at the same time.
Ashe.
Then the bows just went and
The
killed
two archers.
each other.
Yeah, we do have an archer battle in bot lane. It is true.
The two archers just kind of like they both shot at the same time. It was like, and it killed them both because they were both extremely low health. One more hit from either of them. The thing is, Varus has more attack speed, but Ashe has more damage.
Okay. But what about support Ashe?
Huh?
What about support Ashe?
Wait, what? Ashe's support?
Ashe's support, yeah. She's using her slow to help Zeri get a lot of damage and to be really strong into this melee lane. Anytime you have a melee.
Did you see that?
Beautiful play by Keria, waking up the dragon and getting a little bit of harass on the Wukong. But Wukong say, yo, I'm signing up for this. We're stronger now. You have a Kassadin. We're going to take everything on the map. Varus, Leona is
4
uncontestable.
versus 4. Let's see if they go in. Ashe is behind the wall. W's.
There's the engage. They're going to go for
Twisted Fit. Who gets it? Wukong gets the dragon.
Look at Zeri. Look at Zeri just ripping through the damage in this fight. The static shiv going crazy. Kassadin going forward, not realizing that the team has split up. But Guma UC is just this big. Stopwatch goes down. This is going to be a quadra kill for the Zeri. Oh my goodness. This champion is going to be out of control. Meanwhile, Zeus gets...
Triple kill. Look, 3 people dead.
And Leona.
Oh, Leona just spawned sooner because she was the weakest person. I also noticed in some of my games, it depends how powerful you are. Like, if you're like level 7, it takes about something like 20 seconds or so. Wait,
what, to respawn? The time in game plus your levels is how long it takes to respawn, more or less.
Oh.
So like 13 minutes plus level 7 is 20 seconds. All right, Ashe, there we go. They catch... Oh, wow. The dragon actually just did its awaken its fear ability, right? It got juggled so much that it dropped the aggro. There's the Leona dying. Kassadin jumping in as Guma was going does mean that Faker does fall here. Now,
the thing is, what happened is Zeri she made sure she didn't just jump right over the wall. She wanted to go, jump over the whole wall. She came over here, just kept on going, brah, 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 and got the kill on... Eris. I meant Varus.
Oh, Faker dashing in, trying to use his R and E to kill the wave. He doesn't have the wave clear here. That looks borderline suicidal.
Did you see that?
Yeah, he's gotten away just in time. What?
No. So Jax actually did the Kathong thing right when Kassadin portaled away, and then he actually used the Kathong, the thing, but it actually didn't hit him because the portal.
Okay. Normal attacks you can disjoint. The big ones you cannot. Let's check out the play right here from Keen's point of view. So he's coming up, and he's got friends here. Like why did Kassadin? Yeah, I don't know what they're looking for. Kassadin trying to defend that turret was very ambitious, and that is a newly completed Rod of Ages.
Faker.
This is not particularly tanky.
Faker.
Yeah.
Wait, who's Faker? Kassadin?
Yeah.
Has Kassadin died yet? Or
Yeah, he died when Zeri jumped over the wall and it left the Kassadin alone, which
I
meant
think
that
that was
Wukong.
very.
Zeri jumped over the wall.
That was
left.
Varys.
Zeri went over the wall to kill Varys, and that left Kassadin alone with Wukong. Wukong killed Kassadin, and then Zeri came back and killed Wukong.
Wait, how'd Wukong kill Kassadin? I thought they were on the same team.
Look at them.
Oh.
They're not on the same team.
So Wukong killed the Kassadin, but then. Oh no.
No, we'll keep on moving forward. Now, one thing I am looking forward to is going to be Twisted Fate with the new Nashor's Tooth. I want to see if that happens. Nashor's Tooth, we've been talking about it. It gives extra DPS to a lot of these mages. They don't realize how often they're auto-attacking. It is a good item, and it's just been buffed. It's got the extra 15 ability haste. So we'll see what those adaptations come, but that will not be in this patch. They're not live yet with those. So what will the path be? Most times it's going to be Lich Bane and something like Rapid Fire Cannon. Sometimes they go Rapid Fire second. But honestly, the extra move speed can function the same as the extra attack speed. So personally, I'm not a big fan of Rapid Fire Cannon.
Oh.
Yes, you do get that extra hit in, and you do get to charge through your E-empowered cards sooner, but you give up a ton of damage when you do it that way, and your wave clear absolutely suffers. So, Twisted Fate opting for the Ether Wisp, going for Lich Bane almost definitely. The rest of the stock on items, we've got Varys going lethality as they do, looking for this spike where you can take over games at this moment, right? From 17 to 28 minutes, you are just stronger at Varys, and in fact, you're stronger on 3 items with First Strike, right? When you get that first bit of damage chunking into the team, you do get that exceptional lead, but DPS, if you get into a long drawn-out fight and you don't get 2 Qs or resets, ooh, Owner, a little bit shallow there on the ward. They actually decide to kill it. They could have stayed there for a moment. Not that they wouldn't have been sussed out, but they could have held it there and kind of just maneuvered their spots, but they decided to kill the ward, and that's fine. 1k gold lead in the favor of T1. They've got Ashe to harass for this spot, but they are not the team that wants to take this fight with Kassadin at only level 12 and Vi only at 10. Now, Wukong as well, only at 10. Bot laners, no one's level 11, so we're looking for this big fight. If they can get the Vi engage and the upfront damage, then they're going to be happy, but Jax is just running through this fight. He's so strong right now. Can they turn it? And Keria is trying to poke and keep people alive, but this is not the fight you wanted, and T1 makes their bed and sleeps in it. This is not how your team wants to handle it. Your Ashe and Zeri, Kassadin, you don't have the presence or the spikes at this point in the game to actually take that fight, so they lose tremendously. We've got Plated Steel Caps and Sunderer, right? The just core item of one of the best champions in the meta right now. With these 2 items, Wukong just takes over games, and frankly, like the rest of the team, Twisted Fate's going to be better in this position than Kassadin. Varys with lethality build is arguably caught up to Zeri as far as just immediate power right now. Zeri is going to tremendously outscale him and is tremendously far ahead. And if we get into long drawn out fights, but you look at this fight, you know, how much damage was Guma actually allowed to deal there? Not very much. And you've got these champions, you know, it has to be constantly aware of Jax and Leona at all times. And even Twisted Fate, which could surprise you to get that stun off and try to line your team up. Yes, you've got cleanse. And in fact, we have a double cleanse bot lane. From the bot lane that is not Ashe, they have double cleanse. Kind of unreal to see this triple cleanse in the bot lane. But yeah, Guma's not able to take that damage and ends up forking over an enormous shutdown bounty. So the game has just springboarded into KT's favor. They are going to be stronger. They are still going to get outscaled, right? Don't forget this. But from this point until about 4th item, Varys is going to be as strong, right? He's just huge. These 2 completed items are more impactful than the 2 completed items of the Zeri. And if Zeri goes, we'll see if she goes Navori or if she goes Infinity Edge. On this patch, they should still be looking at Navori Clickblades in most cases, but there's some argument for Infinity Edge, especially if you're going to be looking for that front to back, just, you know, long, protracted fight, kind of dodging around Leona and Wukong. But we'll see. We shall see. Now, Vi, Divine Sunder, and Boots way behind the Wukong, who's up a full Caulfield's Warhammer. Twisted Fate is up 3 stacks on his Rod of Ages and has completed his Lichbane. Now, it does look like he's got the sword, the dagger. So, will that be Gnasher's Tooth or will it be Rapid Fire Cannon? Money is on Rapid Fire Cannon, but you know, there's always that chance. I always want that chance to show up. Twisted Fate probably not wanting to get that many auto attacks off in a fight. Leona with close to what's probably going to be Even Shroud, but we'll see. We'll see what comes from that. Gnar versus Jax. We have 2 completed items on the Jax. 4-0 versus the 0-3 Gnar. Absolutely getting the best of this matchup. And Ashe showing why she is so weak and so scuffed on this patch. They really gutted her as a support. Yes, you're going to dominate lane for a bit, but then what are you doing? Your team is 2 marksmen with a Gnar, Kassadin, and Vi frontline. Like, it's kind of a bizarre setup. They're going to have to isolate these fights, get 1 target in the front to back with Vi, and then hope that Gnar can either peel the team or blow up enough AoE damage where Zeri plus Kassadin can chip in to get some kills. If there is one thing that's going for them, they decide to commit into the pit and they get it. They say, we caught KT with their pants down. They decide, hey, we're going to back. We're just going to reset the Baron. And T1 says, no thanks. Let's jump in and take it. And now it's back in their favor. Make no mistake about it. Kassadin's going to be able to hit level 16 during the strength of this Baron. They're going to be able to go side to side with double teleport. And they end up not getting punished for the Ashe pick. In fact, arguably rewarded because with the smooth mechanics. But check this out. Boom, going in, Kassadin in. They're like, nope, you guys want to reset? Let's keep it down. And the Ashe arrow to help peel for the team. Now, Wukong was able to do it. Oh, there we go. Faker being, yeah, there we go. Way to go, kiddos. Splinter and his Ninja Turtles. So what can they get done with it? They recuperate some of the gold disadvantage. It's 2k down. Now they get about that much stats and levels from this. Now if they do die in another fight, that extra level, whoa, look at that range from Cuz. Just the E into the Q, just so nice. If they do give up any kill in this position, then they're going to just launch KT towards the winner's circle. But this may be an opportunity for Kassadin and Gnar to just get up that little bit of difference. Jax is always going to be a problem, but Gnar can get up. If he can get that Black Cleaver done and battle for the spot. Now, worth noting, Jax going with an adaptation, something we've talked about. Jax's should be going Darkseal. This guy is going Stopwatch, and he's actually building Zhonya's, which I love. There are significant AP ratios on the Jax. I wouldn't recommend going Gnasher's Tooth just yet on him. But if you're getting into these fights, you already deal enough damage. You can actually deal just as much and go Zhonya's. And not only that, it's not going to swap over your adaptive damage. You're going to be super strong, able to jump in the middle of the fight. And you're going to be able to use Zhonya's in between counter-strikes. Right? So it can be counter-strike, punch, get your cooldowns from Spear of Shojin, Zhonya's, and then your Counter-Strike will be back up. So it is a perfect fit for Jax that not everyone does and everyone should be at least considering in every single game. So happy to see it here from Keen. Going to make his job very easy in these fights. And it's going to allow, if he's tanking that whole duration, Counter-Strike plus Zhonya's plus Counter-Strike is 8 seconds of defensive stature, which will allow Leona to get second iterations of her spells off. It will allow pick a card from Twisted Fate. So all the cooldowns will come back up for the Leona in that frame. I love this combination, actually. Those are some of the things when you're looking at team building, how things work together. Leona, Varus, just chef's kiss, perfect synergy. And then Jax with Zhonya's actually just works so well with how those two champions want to craft their game. So that's, one of the reasons we've seen this composition and ones like it do well across the world all season. We'll see if they're able to turn it into the win, Kassadin has hit level 16 as we promised during that Baron buff. But look at this team. You've got 6 kills on Guma Yusi and 0 0 for the rest of the team. So very much so, this champion has to take over. But Varus, again, by going the Manamune lethality build, is perfectly relevant despite being behind, and can even be an initiator for the team using his ultimate to set his team up, right? He can be a sort of supportive player. He deals plenty of damage, it's true. But if he can set his team up, then they're absolutely going to be in a good spot. And the rest of the team can carry for him. And he's just exceptionally strong with that build anyways. Completed items coming in. Zhonya's and Rapid Fire Cannon at the exact same moment for Jax and Twisted Fate. So KT Rolster is going to look to press their advantage here. 3 items Twisted Fate, 3 items Jax, soon to be 3 items on Varus. Might even be this exact moment. So team is going to hold back for a moment. They say, hey, we can cycle back, we can wait, we can just pick stuff up. Wukong's going to pick up more control wards, so is Leona. It's like, hey, we're on a back cycle. We've pushed in our waves, we've done it, we moved together, and there it is. Manamune plus 2 control wards from the Varus, 2 control wards from the Wukong, 2 control wards from the Leona. This team is stacked. 7 control wards in inventory. Make no mistake about it, they are going to look to flex their lead on this game. Compare that to T1 that only has 1. And they're basically trying to play for 1 quadrant of the map right now. 1 quadrant, try to control one side. Maybe you can get casted in on a split push, especially if it's versus Twisted Fate. But the problem with splitting versus Twisted Fate is you might have numbers down at any moment in any of the other lanes. Plus the catch potential of Leona Varus on top of Twisted Fate is just so strong. So really love the draft that KT has put together for themselves. One of the best. They were able to get by without dealing with the counterpick Kassadin into Twisted Fate. They were able to hover enough, and Twisted Fate, is fine at those first 5 levels, obviously, but did not give anything up in return. But now we'll see, right? Because Faker's Kassadin now has 10 stacks on the rod. He's almost done with his Zhonyas. So you'd argue that he's basically full build after that point. He may go for something like a Frozen Heart to help in the situation. But Keen just showing exactly how strong he is. Getting the flash and all of the HP from Zeus. Completely dominating this matchup. And really that's been the core of this win. This top side, top jungle combination has been far enough ahead. And, you argue that a Kassadin pick, despite being a counter into Twisted Fate, you end up giving so much lane priority that it means your jungler can't really play the game. And at these levels, that is a problem that they need to have a solution for. And T1, it seems like their solution was try to win through bot, but honestly, they kind of got lucky at level 1 to be offered that first strike fight where they did not expect to get engaged on at that length and to chase down for that amount of health. So if it weren't for that one misplay, we might be looking at KT just steamrolling every single position in this game with their draft. So good spot. We'll see if they're able to convert. They should be able to, but let's check out their technique. 10 seconds on the dragon. You can expect Jax to hold this position between the mid lane and the dragon, and he's looking to absolutely take punches from here. He actually jumps out. Could have been the front for his team. They actually give up the river position. This is bizarre. Why did they do this? They did not need to do this at all. T1 was able to clear the wave. They take the positions on the right side of the fight. Now notice where Kassadin is able to jump in and go around fights, but Jax is going for the flank, and Wukong outsmites owner again. And Keen dodges the Gnar with his Zhonyas. Can they lock the team down? They're trying to get him down, but Counter-Strike's back up. He goes in and just wipes the fight, even getting onto Kuma. Has to take his flash out, but what is the rest of the team going to do? Jax was such a menace, but here we go. This is the Zeri show. She dives in a little bit too far. Oh my god, Kuma. But it's enough. T1 is able to miraculously take this fight. How did they do that? Holy crud. All right. Wow. Was not expecting that with how that fight shook out at the beginning. But KT, kind of inexplicably, despite having the 4 control wards down, giving a position in the river. T1 saying, hey, we're just going to outfight you. We're going to make it come down to this stressful situation. But again, Cuz able to get the combo. Look at that, from 14, like 55 or something. Able to get the combo kill on it to get that down. So they're very well synergized for communicating their smites. Keen and Cuz holding the front. Now, this is what I don't like. Aiming and BDD, who are they hitting? They weren't hitting anyone this entire time. Keria was able to hold off to the side. Cassidy able to come back in multiple times to get these fights, and just aggressive enough and gets the stopwatch at the very, very end. That is the Zonias that he was just able to pick up in time for that fight. Incredibly well timed. Arrival, and suddenly the gold lead is back in the hands of T1. And honestly, if Guma hadn't died there, they would have been taking Baron and just trudging down for this, trudging down these waves and just, or I should say trotting down victoriously. But that said, after this reset, they are down a soul. They are down the comp, but they do have Cassin, level 16, who is now looking to isolate against Twisted Fate and take as many of these fights as possible. He's on 3.5 items. The Blasting Wand, we could see a couple different items, but most likely going to be Void Staff, just to deal the most damage when you do have that chance to get in. Jax working on item number 4, probably Force of Nature, but no, that can't be it. I don't. What is he trying to build with this Megatron? Okay, I don't know if he's going to try to do something like Turbo Chem Tank or if he's just buying something in between, but it doesn't feel like that Megatron cloak is doing that much for him, especially since all of the damage that they have, like Cassidon's damage is almost all AoE. Well, that's not true. He's got the Q and the W for single target, but most of it, right, you're using the E multiple times a fight, the R multiple times a fight. That's all AoE. Your Counter-Strike can combat that. Let's see if we go fishing here. Or they can be able to get the damage on Jax. They're probably just going to look to get a little bit of a chunk out. That is through Lucid Boots. So kind of importantly, this is a Lucid Boots Jax. Looking for those extra jump-ins, those extra counter-strikes, but at the cost of Merc Treads, which can be exceptionally good against Zeri, who's about 30% magic damage, Ashe, who is like the queen of Merc Treads. You just almost always want Merc Treads against her. Interesting to not go that route. Ends up with the Lucid Boots. It's gotten him this far, but what's going to be next? If T1 wins, it's going to be because of the drop-off in damage, Jax not being able to stay in a fight quite as long with not enough HP, and with Twisted Fate having rapid-fire cannon for not enough continued damage. This comp is going to run out of damage as the fight continues, right? They're going to rely on the Bonk, the Black Cleaver from Wukong to reduce armor, for Varus to be able to deal any sustained damage. His Q is going to be massive up front, especially if he can hit the support. The Ashe is his number one target for that harass. Maybe to an extent he can get Cassin, but Cassin has plenty of stats at this point. But if a fight does continue out, they are going to be lacking some of this sustained damage. Let's see if we get in this position. Ashe is jumping in. Whole team's going in, and they burst it. Well played by T1. If you want to do a study on how to control a Baron Pit and how to smite steal, that is it. But here's the rest of the fight. Leona getting in on Zeus, but he does have his flash to jump back out. Now look at Keria. Look at Zeri up in front. Oh my god, taking this position by himself. Guma, what have you done? You're so far ahead of the team. But the team gets split, so he's going to get exactly what he wants. He's going to rip through this fight with the resets. You've dug too deep. There's no way that this works. Is there? No. Cassin able to take it. And Varus and KT does it. Guma Yusi just playing with fire and eventually gets burned. 3 champions still alive here on the side of KT, and only Gnar brings home the Baron buff. A little bit too aggressive on that dive in. He was feeling the pentakill. He wanted that hype, but doesn't. Instead, just gives it to KT. Look at this position here. Wukong able to use the R to interrupt the Vi's dash. From this reposition right here, they've got the HP disadvantage. Right here, Guma Yusi taking an extreme angle. worried about getting hit, but some of the teams split up. Now, that was mistake number one. It was not punished. This one is way too far as well. Going this far into the face of a Counter-Strike Jax means that you just get ripped apart. The Zonias blows them out. I think, just a pretty significant misposition there by Guma. Something that he has shown propensity to do, a la Jojo Pyun, young superstar in his league. But what is going to be the cost here? Champions are well and back in plenty of time to prepare for this dragon. Now remember, they do have the Ocean Soul, but they also have 4 Dragon Slayer debuffs against this dragon. It's going to take them 28% longer to kill this dragon. All that extra reduced damage, everything but the smite is reduced. You have to keep that in mind when you go for the smite combos at the end of this. It is actually easier for the team that doesn't have soul to win the smite fight against these big objectives, up against the Elder Dragon. We'll see if they decide to go all in. Nar's got his Mega. Is he going to use it? He doesn't decide to throw the team back. He keeps his position, says, I'm waiting, I'm still here, I'm hovering. My team is looking to go in. Keen jumps in onto Faker. Faker has to jump out. This is going to be KT's fight. They've got the front damage. They've made the cast and split up from the fight. They win the pit. They win the buff. Here they go with the smite. They are sure to take it. And pop, they are blasting everyone. Guma, even through the Elder, and despite his big lead with Immortal Shield Bow, is not enough to fight off the Elder Dragon. This is going to be GG for KT. One person will be sent to stop the backs from the Ashe, even though they don't really need it. And the rest of the team will trot up mid-wave and collect their win. Beautiful team composition from KT. Twice T1, constantly tiptoeing on the edge of fight, on the edge of execution. Trying to get that limit test perfect, flawless fight, but Kuma oversteps ever so slightly, and that cost their team the game. And there we go, it's 1-1. What a banger of a series.